Avatar fans are about to have their patience rewarded. James Cameron's been working on the sequels for 14 years now, and the second chapter is set to come out this December. We can't wait to see what's in store, but one decision has got us a little worried. It looks like Avatar: The Way of Water might be making one of the same mistakes as the Star Wars franchise. Here's what you need to know. Firstly, let's talk about why Avatar could be following in the footsteps of Star Wars. Now, we all know how hyped everyone is for the long-awaited sequel, but the Avatar series could very well repeat the mistakes of one of its blockbuster peers. Of course, we're talking about the Star Wars movies. Believe it or not, these two franchises actually have a lot in common. They're both major moneymakers, have massive fandoms built around them, and have generated crazy amounts of hype for their latest releases. That's right, Pandora has a lot in common with the galaxy far, far away. One of their most important similarities, though, are the years that they make fans wait for new releases. If you've been following the development of Avatar, you'll know that it's a long-term project. As for Star Wars, the delays between the mainline trilogies have always been huge. Disney, Lucasfilm's new owner, is changing that now. But it wasn't always like this. What's more, both franchises have faced major production issues in the past, prolonging the delays in both their release schedules. That's because both of these properties rely heavily on their special effects. When the technical stuff is such a massive part of the production, it really consumes every part of the process. That can make it difficult to properly focus on the script and introduce new characters, which is why Star Wars has focused on the Skywalkers for 9 movies. The Way of Water is recasting a lot of familiar faces too, including Jake Sully, Neytiri, and Stephen Lang's Miles Quirrich. Even Sigourney Weaver's coming back to play a new character. Now, don't get us wrong, we love the performances in the first movie. That said, bringing characters like Quirrich back for the sequels might not be the right move to make. Why? Well, one of the biggest missteps that Star Wars Episode 9 took was bringing Emperor Palpatine back from the dead. Fans complained about how forced his comeback was, and it honestly felt like Lucasfilms didn't want to put any effort into creating a new villain. At this point, it looks like The Way of the Water might have to deal with similar criticisms. In fact, Quaritch's return could be a big problem. We get it. Making movies is a risky business, and making a movie with a $250 million price tag is about as risky as it gets. Studios need to hedge their bets as much as possible, and one of the easiest ways to do that is by bringing back old characters and locations. What's sold before has to sell again, right? Well, it's actually a lot more complicated than that. We're sure we don't need to tell you this, but sequels that just rehash their predecessors are really common. Just look at The Force Awakens, for example. The First Order and the Resistance from that movie are basically newer versions of the Empire and the Rebels from A New Hope. In fact, Episode 7 often feels like a straight-up rewrite of Episode 1. Both films are about a Force user leaving a desert planet on board the Millennium Falcon, joining up with a group of good guys and taking down the enemy's big weapon. And The Force Awakens' big weapon is just a bigger version of the Death Star from the first movie. Honestly, bringing back Quirrich could put The Way of the Water down the same path. If the villain has the same motives and desires as in the 2009 original, it'll feel really repetitive, and giving too much of a spotlight to what came before will use up valuable screen time. That's time we could spend exploring new locations and getting to meet new characters, so it'd be pretty heartbreaking if that ends up being the case. That's not all though. The Rise of Skywalker ruined Palpatine's super satisfying death in Return of the Jedi, and bringing back Quirrich could undo what Avatar accomplished back in 2009. The General's rebirth would really lessen the impact of all the deaths and sacrifices from the first movie. What's more, bringing people back from the dead would drain the significance of all character deaths moving forward. Think about it. If Quirrich can come back, why can't anyone else? Now, that brings us to our next question. Quirrich literally died at the end of the first Avatar, so how's he returning for the sequel? Well, the actor playing him has obviously got the answers, and his comments are pretty surprising. According to Stephen Lang, Quirrich will be coming back as a Na'vi. We know. That's pretty ironic. The man was the chief of security at the RDA in the original, and his entire motivation was to exterminate the blue aliens. His comeback probably means the RDA isn't done with Pandora, and they'll probably play a major role in the future of the franchise. Lang also confirmed that Quirrich will retain all of his original memories and his anger management issues. That means the actor will basically be playing the same character, just stronger and bluer. He'll even have a tail this time around. That added muscle will probably help him get his revenge. So Jake Sully and his family will need to watch their backs. On top of it all, director James Cameron has actually come out to say that the villain will be back for all the other sequels. Yep, we're going to see Quirrich in all the films leading up to Avatar 5. You can even see him in Na'vi form in the trailer for Avatar 2. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that he was one of the blue aliens patrolling the jungle and talking to RDA RDA employees at their base. As it turns out, the trailer had a lot more details than we thought. Now, there's still hope that Cameron will upend expectations. Maybe he'll give Lang a redemption arc to play with, or come up with a new big bad to take the lead. Having the same guy serve as the villain for 5 consecutive films sounds like a bore. But let's see if the team can pull something special out of the bag. It's safe to say Cameron has done enough to earn our trust. The man has literally made some of the biggest movies of all time. That's why we're hopeful that The Way of the Water won't pull a Palpatine on us. At the end of the day, though, we'll just have to wait for Avatar: The Way of the Water to hit theaters on December 16th this year. With that covered, here's some other news about the franchise. First up, we've got some troubling updates about Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Just when fans thought the wait might be coming to a close, Ubisoft announced they're delaying the highly anticipated video game. The release date has been moved to sometime in 2023 or 2024. We know, that's pretty vague. It's disappointing news since the studio has built a ton of hype around the game. It'll allow fans to explore the world of Pandora firsthand, and everyone expected it to come out alongside The Way of the Water. Apparently, that's not the case. According to the latest rumors, Frontiers of Pandora is its own thing and doesn't feature any overlaps with the upcoming film. What's more, the devs have opted to make it a first-person experience. That's a pretty big departure from what we were expecting, but let's hope the team can pull it off. Up next, we've gotten word that the score for Avatar 2 is now ready. The film is obviously deep into production right now, and it looks like they've got a first cut of the film ready to go. How do we know? Well, producer John Landau just shared an update on the project. The producer made the announcement through his official Twitter account, posting a picture of composer Simon Franklin sitting in an audio booth. Landau mentioned that sitting with Franklin during the scoring session was an honor, and we definitely get why. Franklin has worked on some terrific scores in the past, including the themes for the Magnificent 7 remake and Friday. Seeing as Landau's caption was in the past tense, the music for the film is probably ready to go. We can't wait to hear it. Finally, Shazam! Fury of the Gods director says he isn't worried about The Way of the Water. We've got 2 major motion pictures coming out this December within a few days of each other, and fans are hyped. Now, blockbusters don't usually release so close to each other, so this is a major event. Shazam 2 and Avatar 2 will be going head to head. The Way of the Water comes out on the 16th, closely followed by Fury of the Gods on the 21st. Shazam is definitely the underdog here, but director David F. Sandberg is pretty confident about his chances. He says he's hopeful that there will be enough tickets for both movies, since they're poles apart in terms of content. We get where he's coming from since Avatar is a completely different film than Shazam. Let's hope he's right, because we have a feeling both movies will be pretty great. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think The Way of the Water will make the same mistakes as Star Wars? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.